Okay, this is new audio. We're gonna mess with it. I turned it down a bunch. We're gonna see how it is long term. Hello, Toaster. This is the exact same type of headset that I had when I started. I haven't used this type of headset in like a year though, since that one broke and I moved to a new one. That one broke, so now and then I got a new one, but I had to set it up. So we're here, it's set up, at least on my end. We'll see how the audio does on the OBS. I had to crank it down a bit, but Super Mario Bros. What? Playable okay. Okay. Deny. On has green, right? Oh, she has red. I'm a genius. Gina? Wait, we're on it. We're on the Alfonso viewer stream meta. Which I don't think Tenchi fits any of these categories. Okay. 5-letter name. Ooh, 5-letter names are good to put elsewhere. What's a 5-letter name that starts with M or L? Yugen Magan. Magan does. In this wait, who do you even have in this category? Hold on, you have Marissa, you have Mima, you have Mayra, yeah, Mayra. You have Luis, you have Mai. Is that it? What if we did Mai? I mean, this category is pretty broad. Opium. Momiji. Momiji's not a 20th century character. This is basically PC90 exclusive. Yeah, I mentioned Mima. M and L playable. There's Mamizo. Yes, it is early stream today. And it will probably also be early tomorrow. Pause. Maybe. Probably, but it's still just a maybe. For being an hour too early tomorrow. I mentioned before, my sister's moving, so I gotta help with that. So we got stream on the earlier side today and tomorrow. Well, I'm streaming on the earlier side today because normally I'm hanging out with them, with my sister and her husband and stuff, but not today. So I'm streaming early, and then tomorrow it's because I'm gonna help them. Anyway, what did I click on? I clicked M and L playable character. Again, there's Mamizo, there's Marissa. There's Mima. Lyrica. Lyrica's a good show. Medicine. I do like me some. I do like Medicine. The Medicine pick always betrays me, though. Is there anyone from the fighting games with M or L? I can't think of any. Ooh. The Marasa pick. They never go for Marasa. 10%. They go for Marasa. Missy. I don't think Missy's playable ever. This category's broad, though. It's my copium. She's playable in 9. Is she playable in 9? I thought she wasn't. She might be. I could be mistaken. I thought she wasn't in 9. 5 letters. 5 letters is peculiar. Okina. Yomu. You can't do Yomu. It's Yomu. You come on, like surely Yomu's like decently big, like fairly commonly big, right? No, dude, I could do a Noko or Zanmu. I'm gonna do Zanmu because I feel like Noko's caught on a bit more. That's all the other thing that Yomu would be common. Yes, there are certain characters though that you generally. I guess it also depends because like the thing about Yomu is she only fits in these middle categories, right? Like if there's a character that fits in like 6 of these, you can try to pick them, and odds are they're really good in one square. But Yomu's not great in a ton of these. Like she only fits. I don't think she fits headwear. I think she only fits this category. So that's a little sketchy, right? There's Sanai. Ooh, Sanai would have been a good pick here, I think, because we're... Well, maybe. Sanai doesn't fit anywhere here. Does Sanai have headwear? No, it's headwear, I think. I mean, to be fair, like, 90% of all Touhou characters have some random fucking, like... hair clip in their hair. Hello, Light General. Let's do this 20th century. Get this out of the way. Froggy State clips. I could do her in that category, but I'm not. I'm not going to. Red and green 20th century. I feel like Meira's like pinkish red. It's hard to say. Yuka definitely has both, but it's Yuka. Like, Yuka's fine if it's, like, not this category. Kanagara is a fair show. Shinky. Yuki is, like, black and yellow. Mai is, like, white and blue. I think orange has green. Yeah, I knew she had green. 6.9, nice. Honestly, I think getting a rare there is good, because... The PC98, like, only categories are not that large. Oh. Okay, PC98 and first... Potato Bot. My Touhou appeared in 1901. Early Fonzo. Yeah, ignore when I've commented about this multiple times yesterday. And I mentioned it in, like, the Discord, like, 3 times. If you ignore that, yeah, it's just crazy out of nowhere. I mean, mine does have red, but I already picked mine, so I couldn't even have done that anyway. Where's red? Yeah, I kind of just have a little bit of red. Then on Saturday. I said Friday and Saturday. I said probably Saturday. I said Saturday I might not even stream. We'll see. I probably will, but Saturdays are more questionable. But I said Friday and Saturday. Probably. 5 letters. Yeah, but I don't care about red or green anymore since I've already finished that category. I need 5 letters in PC98. Alice, Reimu, Yuka. Plus Reimu, Yuka, Meira. Is that it? Ellen. Ooh, and there's Ellen. Is that it, though? Think there's anyone in Lotus Land? I think for the 130 streak, Potato Bot. Gonna do Ellen and Cope. Oh, That's definitely not the best. I mean, this category pretty shallow, but Ellen was not the play. 5 letters, headwear. How'd you know my name was Ware? Does Noko have headwear? M and L. Who starts with M and L that has headwear and conveniently also has 5 letters? She has ears. Every character has ears. Hello? Momio? I don't think Momio has headwear. At least nothing that I can recall. Chami, Ubame, Nareko, Yuimon, Ime. Try to think of the newest characters. We back up. We got, you know, Eika, Arumi, Kutaka, Yachi, Mayumi, Keiki, Saki. No one there. Narumi. No, Narumi doesn't fit. Narumi's always a good shout. Keiki can fit down here. Does she have headwear? I think she does. I was trying to think of M's and L's. Does Larva doesn't come up as Larva. Well, should I gamble on the Larva working? Okay, the fact that Eternity's not on this list, I'm going to assume that Eternity's counts as the first name. We could do Luna. She has headwear, right? Yeah. 5 letters. Ooh, I could do Sunny that? Would Sunny have headwear? Yeah. I'll do 1.6. Not bad, not bad. Waited with Mai on the grid, but not Yuki. Achievement unlocked. Oh, Ellen most picked there? Oh, I'm going... I don't know, the others are pretty good. Okay, this bottom left category is super broad, but 4.8 is the best. Yuka, Slug. Keiki most picked there. Definitely glad I didn't go for that. Down here. Mima's taken the best pick in this category, but Mai was so close. I'm not that upset. Yeah, but if you look at some of these, like to be fair, look at this. Alice, 18%. This is 26. Like, there's not a lot of characters in that tier. Yuki. Where the fuck is the red? You're counting this, like, the fucking glow for the background is red? I'm causing violence again. Oh, we're on the tilt. We're tilting. Where's the red? The fucking, like, arm sleeve? Thank you for the 180 streak light, General. Your panties are red. Yeah, hey, I had on for you, okay? Can't hate on me too much. What are my stats? Okay. We take those. We take these. That's pretty good. Also, I'm going to mention again, since I mentioned at the beginning. New headset. The previous one, the right side broke, but I was able to push it in and have the left side extended and work fine. And then, like, that was like a month or two ago. And now the left side broke. So, new headset. But because of that, the way that Touhou's capturing, or that my OBS is capturing audio is through a different source. I have to change back to AT. So the audio is different now, and I turned it down because it looked super loud at first. I have it as this, completely experimentally. So if it needs to go up or down, if the not my voice, my mic is the exact same it's been, like, so that has not changed. But the if like the BGM is too loud or too quiet, do let me know, and I'll take into consideration. If 11 shows up, he's gonna complain either way, but that's just what he does. He's gonna be like, "Oh, it's you!" You know how it goes. But now that I have a new now that I have kind of like my old headset back again, the one I had before, my previous headset, the one I've been using, we're so back. Hell, let's see if he knows this for real. That's a good idea. I've noticed. Well, I'm glad that the amount I guessed to lower my audio by lowered it to a good level. I definitely like this type of headset more, but it is weirder because like this headset is a lot like almost more surround soundy. Like sound effects and background aspects and like bass stands out a lot more. Holy crap, homing, do your job! I love when I'm standing, like, right here on the screen, and there's an enemy on the left side, but because I'm not far enough to the left, my right homing is like, nah, fam, I'm just gonna go off the right side of the screen. The thing that this headset really does to like a lot of songs, and at times I like it, but at times it is actually slightly distracting, is the instruments and all the music is like more separated. And so sometimes there's like a background like instrument that like my brain that like I don't normally like notice too much, but like with this headset, like I do notice. With this headset, by the way, stage 3 of SA drove me insane. By insane, I mean it got on me sometimes. Where there's just that like one background instrument that you just hear. But like right now, with my previous headset, I don't hear the background piano that much. But like with this, I can really make it out. It's not the standout point of the audio, but like it's more than distinct in this headset. The new sound of the OC, yeah. I like it, broadly speaking. It can be slightly distracting at times. Is the tragic thing. And it's the new part you can leave after 100 hours of PDA. But there's this subtle just... that, like, I can now just, like, make it in the background, but, like, my previous headsets, like, although you can kind of hear it, you really can't make it out from the rest of the song. This headset's also significantly more noise canceling than the last one. Or at least a good bit more. Ay-ya-ya! No, that's later. Yeah, that's Aya. But damn lot, you got her. Dude, I'm making out so many new sounds in this song that, like, I never, like, would pick out before. Oh, no. It's like I'm playing a whole new game. Why do you hate me? If you guys ever think I'm a little have a little too much hate in my heart, you should look at this cat, okay? Look at her anger right now. Look how angry she is. You know, not gonna lie, it's kind of funny that this is here. Cause not gonna lie, I've been pondering more. I've been pondering about whether or not I wanted to just throw on that card. For 9 years. That's impressive that they last your ones have lasted that long. Kudos to you for finding a good one. There. Like, I got effectively, like, the one I have right now, but, like, a slightly older version of it. Like, years ago. I don't know exactly what it would have been, but it was, like, several years ago. It might have been pre-COVID, or around when COVID started. Anyway. And they lasted for several years. They lasted for a while. Loved them. But eventually, some of, like, the connecting piece on the right side broke, and then they no longer, like, work, like, sit properly. I mean, they work. Like, you can hear audio, but, like, they don't sit in your head well. So I was like, okay, let's get some new ones. So then I ordered like the same thing but newer, and then I got it, and I couldn't figure out how to set it up. But I had a separate like pair of like a different type of headphone that I had before to have a second one. So I started using that instead, and then that worked, and then I've used that for probably like a year or so. But now that one broke on both sides. Then I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna figure out how to get this one to work. And it took me a while today, but I got it to work. That's 2013, damn. The game is still having its occasional lag today. Appreciate it. My computer is falling off. Maybe I should clear out the dust at some point. Do you think I can open up the computer while it's running and then blow on it? Think that's gonna cause a problem? It surely would. In fact, I think the only time I've ever gotten, like, a new piece of, like, you know, gear, mouse, keyboard, headset and stuff, where the only reason I got one, or, like, I started using it is because, like, the previous one, like, it wasn't because the previous one stopped working, was when I got this new keyboard last year. My old keyboard still works. But I've had it for years after I did this one. Because when you build the PC as it's a different thing. I was trying to get close to see your old PC. Yeah, my PC's my PC is pre-built. Mouse. Gonna ask you to replace it. Yeah, I got this new mouse. Like 2 years ago. I say new. It's like 2 years. I've had this mouse, something like that. And it was because the old one like died, or like became a problem, didn't work great, and then I replaced it. But like otherwise, like look Kageyama. Like generally, I only replace like my gear when it like breaks. But this keyboard was actually an exception to that rule. Take the lag. Oh, I thought I was left enough. She had so much HP left. I had dealt no damage to her. This stage is absolute dog shit, by the way. Can't wait till we find the stage 3 safe spot, the one that works throughout the entire stage. That was really aggressive positioning. I love the 3.0 power green spam. Like, it's just so fun! Reimu, why can't you deal damage? Pretend like this is Reimu A in fucking DDC. Come on. Actually, I don't want to start spamming shit. Pretend like this is Reimu A in USD. Well, actually, every character deals a billion damage in that. Because nothing has health. What's a game where Reimu like Needle that's not DDCA or USDA where like it like deals the nuttiest damage? I guess 20? 20 is like needles are really good? At least I know it's unfocused needles are good. I actually don't know necessarily the status of its focused needles. Unfocused needles are pretty horrible. Kind of weird how unfocused needles are really good, but focused needles suck. And at the same time, unfocused homing is dog shit, but focused homing is really good in 20. How the fuck did that happen? Yeah, focused homing, unfocused needle, yeah. The numbers mean I can go bird. Scaling options, I guess. I think it's kind of neat because it's a little, like, antithetical to the normal, like, concepts of homing versus needle. Where, like, needle is generally your, like, supposed single-target burst, while homing is more, like, the broad, like, you know, sweet, like, stage kind of, like, helper. So, like, in theory, you want homing to be the unfocused and needle be the focus, so it's kind of like... It is kind of peculiar, almost cool that it's the opposite. But it's kind of weird. It at least stands out. Thanks for the lag. I mean, like, sometimes she just, like, throws, like, just a bunch down at your throat, like... Puts a line on the left, puts a line on the right to trap you in, and then she just says, Burgo everything. Is there any other game where Reimu focused needle is the highest damage? Surely surely it's gotta exist, right? Not including USD. Not including... I already said, not including USD, and not including DDCA. Although DDCA isn't needle... Yeah, I don't fucking care. Because, like, the thing about EOSD is, like, everything deals 5 billion damage. Like, who cares if you deal 6 billion damage when every other attack already deals 5 billion? I guess homing only deals like 3 billion, but like, you know, still like 3 billion damage. Because nothing has health bars in that game. Guess that's it. Does Aya or Patchy beat her out in, beat Yukari out in 11? Or is it Alice, like, shotgun? I guess, she has shotgun, right? I think they both have a shotgun, actually, now that I think about it. Although, you know, what its actual DPS looks like is... far away, maybe needles. What does, you know, locked on Reimu C look like compared to needles? And, you know, assuming your aiming is on point. Pretty low. Bad. Chalk that up to another common Reimu CL. That's a pretty decent shot for LNN, that is. Yeah. Keep your Reimu C copium going. We all know Reimu B is truly the best. Big needle propagandists and others try to deny the truth. But everyone in their heart of hearts knows that Reimu B truly is the strongest in that game. Oh, you and Nina? No, because Nina only talks about conspiracies. I talk about truths. Yu is the worst Reimu there. She's still okay. Her status of being okay is mostly carried by the fact that Marissa C exists. Like, I feel like it's not that necessarily that Rainbow B is okay. I think it's that just that Marissa C sets the bar really low, where, like, almost anything can clear it with, like, passing colors. Your catwalk is one way of, like, is it doable in, like, 1.5? Sure. Is it, like, consistent at 1.5? You're probably hitting it more like 1.8. Like, you're not, like, you can do it not full 2-wave, but it's a little... It's like, wait, the easy part of it? Yeah, but what I'm also saying is that the hard part, which is the last 0.5, you're doing a good bit. Like, you're doing a lot of it most of the time. Like, there are a number of instances where, even with my damn strat, you still kill 1.9, 2.0. Even something like a 2.1 is not unreasonable. Once you start really pushing for damage, you can start to consistently get like 1.7, 1.8. But that still takes a while, and it's fairly consistent. But like even with what I was doing, I was probably hitting that. I want to say like 3/4 of the time, which is good. But hitting it, like, I would still hit 2.2s. It's not unreasonable. And a bit of that is just because, like, although can you, like, fucking go up? Hello? Holy shit, she's fucking the ground. The risqueness just kind of comes from the fact that, like, I wouldn't call it risqueness, but, like, hello? She's programmed a hard move left? Kind of the gamble is just, or it's not even a gamble, it's just, like, it's hard to, like, especially with Rainbow B, because you kind of almost have to, like, you have to be, A, really high up on the screen, and you really have to, like, pre-move to her movement and be really on point to get your waves, because, unfortunately, your Mentos, the Suika shot, is really slow. Wave is a good time. It's a good time down anyway for popcorn. Yeah, though I did note that, like, at the range I was killing Orin at, as long as I do as long as I edge non-1 and non-2 properly, popcorn was never really, like, whether or not I got, like, an extra 1 or 2 seconds on popcorn or not, my popcorn set was never really a concern. Have a good touch it. At least from memory. It's been a while since I played SA. It's actually been over a year since I played SA. Yes. But what I was saying, at, like, the spot where I was killing her, you're only, like, if I remember correctly, unless I messed up on the nons, I was consistently only getting, like, maybe a couple seconds of popcorn. And that was, like, if I kind of, like, do a really quick catwalk, like, early on, before I was getting the quicker catwalks, I was getting, like, nothing for, popcorn. When I started doing them, I was, like, I'd get, like, a second or two with some of the quicker ones. But, like, a second or two of popcorn was not really that concerning. Like, if I happen to get that, I'm gonna do the double cutback. Fuck, dude, 5.75. That was a long mid-non. Zune should have retired after he made... He should have been forced to retire after he made this game. After this stage. Fucking A, bro. Like you see a full mid-boss timeout LNN. Talk about this game? SA. Do you mean where you time down non 1, non 2, and then time out catwalk? Yeah. And time to catwalk, skip some metro streets, you think? I don't think that's wrong, but... I mean, I think the reason why people don't do that is because, like, the Mento Spirits is, like... It's, like, that part's routable. So, it's not, like... If that's bad to me, yeah. So... That'd be like sitting here being like, I don't know why nobody's done full Sanyo timeout LNN. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, man. I don't think I've seen anybody do that. I bet Sanyo's less funny. Scoring though, yeah, but scoring is scoring. Fuck, I hate this stage. Like, stage 4 is so much better than stage 3. Doesn't help that the stage 1 is doo-doo butt. And the other thing about the stage 3 is, like, you can often do, like, most of it. But all it takes is the fucking blue section, the mid-non, green spam, the stupid purple fairy, non-1, spell 1, or non-2, or the occasional part after non-2, although that tends to be rare, just to be like, I'm gonna be quirky. Like, it just takes one of those to be really quirky. somewhat often spell 2. Yeah, the spell 2 is definitely, like, the last 3 attacks are of Sanya are definitely easier than the first 3, but spell 2 and non 3 do have their moments, absolutely. Spell 2 more than non 3, and spell 3, I might as well mention it just to mention it. But what often happens on spell 2 is that I'm doing it, I'm like, this is the ass, this is ass, this is the ass, and then I'm like, oh, it's actually perfectly fine. And then I move on. But then there's, like, the occasional time where I'm like, oh, this is actually ass, and I hate it. Thank you for the lag. Pew! Give her the 56 frames. Whoop, my frame rate jumped to 60.1 FPS for a second. Playing the game on speed up. Ooh, that's what we should do. Instead of the 60, you know, some people do like 75 FPS runs or something. You gotta do the 60.1 FPS run. The entire game at 60.1. I wasn't even looking. I love this early game. No, I don't say 61. I said 60.1. 61 FPS would be too noticeable. 60.1 though. That's the real man's LNN. Dude, 60.1 FPS is the nuts, because that means that every 60 seconds you're getting that one extra frame. Ooh, 13.58, that's quick. That gets you the quad. You don't often get a kill that quickly. You get the extra frame on Sanya spell when it offsets the frame perfect micro. Well, you just accept the fact that you weren't even going to hit the frame perfect micro to begin with. Doing dodge and toe? Yeah. I've noticed it as the last day or two. Last 2 days, because for whatever reason, I decided to lag a little bit more, but it's not that frequent at least. Ooh, 64. See, there's a little bit lag. There was that part where I think it really didn't matter, but. Fuck you! Get over here! Stop! Holy shit! Stop going to the left! Those figures sometimes lag. Wasn't that a big thing in Touhou 20? I feel like I remember 20 being really bad for lag, especially with when you do the rainbow pyramid too much and the game just crashes. Like, I feel like I remember getting bullet clear, or, like, getting, like, pyramid, like, clears on, stage 6 in Touhou 20, and it, like, really lagging. Occasionally. Like, when you get bullet clears with, like, some pyramid breaks. I think. It's been, like, a year since I played, 20. Guys, it's about to be August! What great August plans do you guys have? I'm done. Yeah, nothing comes out this month. Everything I'm looking forward to comes out next month. At least everything I'm looking forward to that comes out this year. I will say there's this pizza restaurant. It's slightly higher quality. I always go there every Friday for lunch. I go down and it's downtown. I just go downtown. Like, why the fuck is there so much? Is it possible to find a parking spot? Park super far away. I'm like, oh, the Blueberry Festival's going on today. Guys, I'm streaming instead of being at the Blueberry Festival right now. Okay, that's how much I love you guys. I remember my younger sister and I, when we were younger, biked down there. Well, September has multiple things I'm looking forward to, because September has EOSD 2, which is neat to see. I'm not, like, super excited, but you know, I guess what you're playing in September. Probably DDC and maybe EOSD 2. At least a little bit. But, September has EOSD 2. It also has, Star Wars Zero Company, and it has the new Fire Emblem, so those two are what I'm really looking forward to. And then there's really, like, not much I'm super excited for till next year. And by super excited, I mean, like, the two things I'm excited for next year are Persona 6, Copium, that's next year, and, Super Play Genesis. But those are long enough. So, 21. I mean, I'll say it the same way that USD 2. Like Touhou 21 coming out would be, like, fine enough. Like, it'll be neat, but, like, it's not something I'm actively, like, oh, I'm really looking forward to it. Like, I'll play it. I'm sure I'll have a good time. Make content off of it, yada yada. But it's not like I'm like, oh, I can't wait! I think it'd be really hard for me to get, like, excited about, like, a shmup. Like I said, I think it's hello, Kate. Good evening. I think it would be really cool. Like, I think USD 2, like I think the remake for USD 2 really cool. But, like, I'm not like, oh, goody, goody, goody! I can't wait! Like, when he comes out with the Pod remake out of nowhere, then I'll see. Then I'll see. But, like, otherwise, like, sure, it's like it's gonna be cool. USD 2 is gonna come out. I'm gonna play it a little bit. It's gonna be cool to see. Absolutely cool for the Touhou scene. But, like, I'm not excited. Like, or particularly excited, I should say. Like. Let's put it this way. What day does EOSD 2 drop? It's the 9th, but you never know what time because, like, Japan, like, releases to, like, stuff. But it drops on fucking Wednesday. Fucking dropped on a Wednesday. That's the day I don't stream. Son of a bitch. Well, like, that Thursday, I'm gonna play USD 2, but, like, you know, I'm gonna go to work and come back and play USD 2 for a little bit. Dude, when Xenoblade Genesis drops next year, I'm fucking taking the day off work. You have to have Eddie Marker and Hitbox for USD. Alan, that's gonna ruin the gameplay experience. USD is what it is because it doesn't have those features. That dude adding it honestly is just gonna ruin the game. Yeah, for 20. Oh no, not this again. No, not this again. I wasn't even looking at the screen. I was just assuming my taps were fine. It's C2 is exciting. Go for the 0.1% champion. Keep my friends to play Touhou. Here is how I get my friends to play Touhou. There's a fan party game. There's like a fan-made Touhou party game. That's how I get them to play. Danmaku. I have played Danmaku many times with some of my friends. Quite enjoy that. Surely the big box will drop soon. Sure, it'll drop. I mean, I'm so fucking looking forward to when it drops. Absolutely gonna play the shit out of that with my friends. But like, surely it's gonna drop someday. Copium. Just like when Alice releases in Lost Branch. When I was out of town a couple weekends ago, I played some Danmaku with my friends. Whoa. Go down there. To come out when she wakes up from her coma. Yeah, it's gonna happen. 13.6? Wow, that's an early kill. Can't read those words right now, hold on. Going to realize that Zune design being reasonable to that point was indeed a coincidence. What does that mean? What? But Kamada to balance out the heart. Oh, that's what you mean. Alright, the game's of course not just randomly worked it that way. Yeah. I absolutely think that like all Touhou difficulty is mostly coincidental. I think it's good that I think all balancing in Touhou, like, if there's any balance, is completely normal related. I don't think Zune goes out of his way to balance Lunatic, like, at all. And I also don't think that's a bad thing. Now, in certain instances, like a Doremi non-1, maybe, like, think about that, like, a little bit more. Like, on Lunat, like, I don't even know if that attack has a similar deal on normal to, like, what, you know, the specifics behind it. But, like, outside, like, a niche instance like that, like... And, like, Touhou's often about, like, its, like, flashy patterns, rather than, like, how do you overlap, like, 16 billion bullets at once, right? And that's a big thing. Like with a lot of Misamaru's design is like, you know, she has a lot of her attacks have a very similar design concept, right? And I think it just happens to be harder than something like Kaimata. Kaimata has a lot of similar design patterns, but it ends up making her nons pretty simple. Or straightforward, is what I should say. Contrast that to, like, Kisamaru's spells. Sanyo has a very distinct design pattern. A lot of her attacks have that, like, blooming flower approach, right? All of her nons, including her mid-non, have a similar flow to that. Spell 1 is in a similar regard. They all have that blooming flower aspect. That just, I think, is more coincidental that it leads to it being very difficult on Lunatic. And I say on Lunatic, not that it's not very difficult on normal or something, but I'm not as familiar with that. You must use patterns more random, actually not 3, but random. Yeah. A 3D random rotate static, that would blow, yeah. But I think Kaimata gets bailed out by, like, him having his, like, idea for what her patterns are going to look like, and because it's a very visual-oriented thing, it lines up in a way that makes it very favorable for the player. I really have a hard time believing he's like, okay, this game's mid-game is fucking brutal. How about I make all of Kaimata's nons, like, you know, effectively static? I don't believe that for a second. I could be wrong, but, like, I have a hard time believing that. Like, I think if you really want to highlight, like, obviously, he skews the game towards the late game being harder than the early game. I think that's, like, pretty straightforward, a kind of a simple concept, but it's not always going to work out perfectly. But, like, there's not, like, I do not believe he's some kind of fucking 4D chess playing, like, genius who's like, I'm going to purposely make Kagero the worst boss of all time. Now someone's gonna be like, she's not the worst! Like, Junko's worse as a whole or something. It doesn't fucking matter, right? Here's stage 4, yeah. I don't believe he goes into this being like, I'm gonna make Kagero suck. I'm gonna make this stage 4 really bad. Or bad as in difficult. Not bad as in badly designed, but, like, difficult. In contrast to other things. Oh my gosh, that is... Like, I've had a few, like, lag jumps, but that was, like, a lag block. Good grief. Not the Takane fight. Plus, the fuck attack being used and Lunatic does a lot. Yeah, I think it's perfect. I think it's perfectly fine and good for him to do it. But like, what you make 4D chess playing? Yeah, but like, what if him drinking, like, and he enters the 4th dimension? Like, when he drinks, and then this enters the 4th dimension, and it's kind of like, it's kind of like the concept of, like, the Bible being written, where it's like, oh, it's God's word, like, written through people, or he, like, almost like takes them over, like the theoretical idea if you possess them while you're really right. But just like when Zune drinks, he gets like he ascends to a higher being temporarily, and he's like, I will make DDC the most skewed game in terms of difficulty and easiness at the same time with my perfect concoction. What is the perfect concoction, you say? Fuck, my frames are dropping. I can't make this joke. Okay, my frames are back. Okay, I'll go back to making the joke. What is the perfect concoction, you say? This is my new IPA I've been drinking. You know? I was putting them. I'm not saying that there isn't thought put into some of this stuff, but like, I also, like, will 1000% say that, like, in terms of, like, difficulty balancing, like, things also get skewed because like, some of us are talking from, like, an LNN perspective, when, like, I will always sit here and say, there is no chance he designed books or PCB spam under the concept of, people are going to do this without bombing. People are going to LNN this part. I do not believe that either of those two things are designed with that, like, concept in mind. Okay. And, like, Eternal Meat. Like, you know, maybe it's just playful banter, maybe there's the meaning of what he designs, but, you know, it's like the whole line of Saki being like, at least I'll force a bomb from you. You know, in-game breaking the fourth wall a little. It's like that, like, concept of, like, designing something to be bombed, I feel like bleeds into a number of parts in Touhou. Do I believe that he designs most things to be capable without anything? I think he probably goes out of his way to do that a little bit. But there's no fucking shot Books on Lunatic was designed with, like, LNN in mind. No, it's 100% designed with the concept of dying or bombing to it. Like, I cannot believe otherwise. Like, Zune, like, 25 years ago, when he started, like, designing EOSD, was like, yes. In 20 years from now, the LNN scene for this game is going to get massive, and this game is going to be one of my hardest games in the block. Designed around its hyper RNG late game section, such as this Books. PCB spam, you know, like similar type of section. Static, yeah. But, like, even in the world of, like, attacks, right? Like, there are so many bosses that, like, individual attacks are so fucking skewed. Let's talk about Remy, right? Like, Remy is potentially the hardest stage 6 boss in the series. You know, might be up to a little debate. Like anytime I say something like this, there is potential that someone's just gonna be like, actually. But, like, Remy is one of the hardest bosses in the series, for sure. And let's look at it this way, right? What is it, Non 3? Dude, Non 3 is a fucking joke. You think he designed Non 3 with, like, the intention of, like, this is gonna be a complete joke Non? Like, compared to everything else. Designed with easier intention? Like, sure, but, like... What do you think he'll for POC? True, but, like, I feel like there's like attacks throughout Touhou that, like, do that perfectly fine. But, like, I don't think Meister was designed to be the hardest, like attack in the game. I just think it, like, happens to be that way. In fact, Meister is very similar to Non 2 in broad design. But Non 2 ends up being relatively easy. Relatively. Well, like, Meister is just absolute, like, you know, brutal. But, like, design-wise, they are very similar in concept. I think Meister's intended to be harder, but, like, to the degree that it's, like, one of the hardest attacks in Touhou, for consistency purposes, that is, I think is pretty interesting. That was deliberate and well-tested, couldn't guess. I think a lot of, like, good design in games comes from a mix of good intent, this sucks. Good intention and, coincidence. At the same time. Which is not a bad thing. Ah, fuck, I got out too. I had the dash out. Yeah, this can go a long way. True. But there are some times that, like, people put a lot of attention to detail, but it doesn't pan out right. I think there's just a solid aspect of, like, it being kind of a mix, right? I mean, I can say what I want about Mario 64 sometimes, but, like, Mario 64 is beloved in the speedrunning community for some of its mechanics. There is not a fucking chance that, like, 99% of the mechanics in a Mario 64 speedrun were remotely thought of when the game was made, right? Like, there's not a fucking chance. You think like, designers of Mario 64 were like, backward long jump. This is a completely intentional mechanic in every way it's used. Like, come on. You're testing chaotic games. Okay. If they're reasonable at all, yeah. Thanks, Sonya. I mean, that was kind of on my fault, Sonya did. Like, it was a hard read. I saw it out. I got out, but, like, I just ended up moving too much to the left. I mean, people will often complain about Pokemon design and stuff and some of their gameplay theory, which may or may not be justified at times. But, like, I don't think the fucking original creators of Pokemon expected it to become the greatest selling franchise of all time. right? Pokemon Red and Blue are, like, held on by a fucking, like, those are games that are held on by, like, duct tape in terms of how well they run. Like, it's a miracle those games, like, work the way, like, as well as they do. There are so many, like, just, like, things that don't work as, like, almost intended or just wild things, but, like, and yet, in spite of that, those are, like, again, highest grossing franchise of all time. Look my TCG right now. I enjoy the Pokemon TCG. I almost never play it. I usually enjoy it by watching it, but like, you think Zune at any point in the first 10 years of making Touhou thought that Touhou would become what it is as a series? I guess this VGC a Gen 4 or something? Yeah. I mean, the modern VGC, like, format, like, was actually, like, originally designed in, like, Pokemon Coliseum / XD Gale of Darkness back in Generation 3. Like, 21 or 22 years ago. There are PvP doubles back then. I will forever say this. I really like competitive Pokemon. I think VGC Pokemon is really cool. I also do like singles. Smogon, I think singles is also a cool format. I do prefer the competitive VGC doubles. I think the fact that, like, competitive Pokemon is, like, as good as it is completely accidental, but I think it's really good. Big Mega out of work playing UF. I don't know that exact feeling, but I understand the feeling. That was a fucking perfect stage section, by the way. I'll toot my own horn a little bit. Once again, proof that stage 4 is easier than stage 3. Oh! That green ball. I don't like this spell, especially when she does that. Not the best move, she already went down, so I'm not really punished for not having really been much of a side. There's something. Yeah, especially, like, as of late, too. There's definitely been more intentional design choice at BGC, or for competitive, but stay with me. Oh, you know! The last second, you bitch! Fuck! I got screwed over. Who's your favorite Which was your favorite new Mega? It was actually like even like the read I had at the end, like the movement, like it was almost good. Like I had the out, I just like panicked and let back to left, up and left into that black ball, and I go right there and fine. But I had like the lines, and then I just pressed like, you have to think of your favorite Pokemon. I should expect it from the Tsukasa, man. I mean, can I really be that upset over a 1-miss stage 4, where the 1-miss says, like, at the very last second? Like, that's like a disgusting stage 4. I'll pat myself on the back a little. I'll grumble a little as well, but... like, that was a perfect stage section plus perfect, Divine Orb. Miyamo, it dies stage 5. Ooh, hardest dodging in the entire game. Hold on, I gotta lock in. Look at this. Ooh, that was close. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at his dodging. Oh my goodness. Also, I have you guys turned off right now. Just as a mention. Also, Foxy. Really good edging. The flag. Good stage section. Oh, I hate being under pressure. I make a move. How you doing? Neutral movement. Pretty neutral movement. Take the kill. Very nice. Whoa, that was a strong spike. At least it wasn't in the middle of a dodge. Go. Ah! I didn't even know it hit me. I thought for sure I was at range of the star, but it might have been a laser. Me and my way to die to nod 1 for the umpteenth time. Oh, it's because my uncle. That's why that was slightly weird. Foxy, 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 Foxy. Oh, yeah, bad link. Well, that's kind of a... first moment. It shouldn't really matter, because it's... not what spell we're talking about. Oh. Ooh, make sure we get that bomb. Dude, I love being at Formus and, like, you're basically dead. I fucking did it again. Well, now I have to do non-3 at 3.0 power. Yippee! I do the exact same thing where I go through the previous wave, I go for the right line, and then I just, like, don't do the move. I don't tap left. Or I'm like, I don't know exactly where my spot is, and then just don't go left. How does this spinning get affected at 3.0 power? Not before, but it's been a while. It doesn't really get affected too much. I think it's like one more circulation. Although how many circulations you make already kind of does depend a little bit on your bottom damage. It's actually only like another half a circulation. Hey! Always love to do 9-3. I'll probably die here. Nope, at the line. Don't need to worry about power loss when you die when you're on your last life. Ooh, make sure I get that bomb piece. Why was that red one so high? Good kind of amount of movement on her fourth base. Gives you a 50-second clear. Oh, good run. One of these days I'll get out of the, What, she was in a bad mood? Might be. What the IDOs for your RQ, you think? Yeah, that one IDO was not generous. It wasn't, like, abysmal. Definitely. Got Brax into at some point. I'll work more on my late game whenever I finally get a pace past the mid game, but I'm not gonna like hyper fixate on it until that point. I would say that even with late game, even if I did practice the late game more, like the first run past stage 4 is probably going to be no more than a 20% odds to like clear from that point. I would like, even if I optimize that and I get that closer to 30%, I don't think that's something worth focusing too much on. I feel like 20% is even pushing it, like... Ahead of Remy. Well, I am combining Stage 5 and Stage 6 in the comparison here. Like, realistically, first run I get past Stage 4 is going to die. Probably the second one as well. Oop! Oh my gosh, the lag of pausing. Like, considering Moth took, I don't know, what did Moth take to get runs past Stage 4? It took about, like, 10 to 15. I think it took close to, like, 15. I'd expect this game to be in the 5 to 10 range. But if there's anything to focus on with practice, it's just Stage 3. Unfortunately, which I don't necessarily want to do, but... Mm, 5 to 10. 5 to 10 might be a little too generous still. Like, even if I make it to Asylum of Dunmaku on pace, I'd still only put my odds at, like, 50-50 if it's on pace. Who's messaging me? Finalist news. I mean, like, I could probably do her final closer to an 80+% rate normally, but like, on pace, odds are very significant of just like missing a read on her third or fourth wave, or just simply butchering a line on like wave 2. Like, I probably would have put my odds about the same with Sub-Sun on pace, and I was fortunate to hit Sub-Sun on pace on my first go-to there. I was also fortunate to hit Yuyuko on my first try on pace there, but... first wave of final, to be honest. I've definitely done that too. It's very, like, I've died on, like, various runs to all sorts of different parts on Stage 4. Or on not on Stage 4, what the fuck am I talking about? On Asylum of Dunmaku, different phases. Here's the thing. I am more than confident in my Kaimata, broadly speaking. Like, sit down and, like, hop into Kaimata and practice. Like, as long as, like, I'm not, like, kind of, like, you know... Like, there are often times I'll sit down and I'm, like, not, like, really too focused, and then a lot more things happen. Like, when I'm in, of course, I'm very confident in practice. Unfortunately, that only goes so far. Though there are advantages to be gained from doing it on a run, so they do kind of offset a bit. But... Well, like, considering how bad my Sanyos are under pressure, to, like, amplify that, like, 5 times or something with, like, against Kaimata. That is a pain in scoring. Fair. Oh, also, that last run, once again, proof that yellow spam is the easiest part of the game. Yeah. Ooh, I'm gonna do a cutback. Please spam. I do enjoy the yellow spam section on stage 4. Well, I almost just walked right into that. Oh, Cake, I have a question for you, since you play as Reimu too. Do you, on Megamu, on Spell 1, do you ever... I just fucking had another stroke there. Do you ever, put, like, depending on her movement, stall on Spell 1 to get better Mega Move movement? I hate this guy. This guy's my arch enemy. You just go for the kill? Okay. I've never seen anyone like do it, or at least mention doing it. Like there are obviously like some strats that you like some people may do, but you can't really like make out in a run, or like depending on the way the run goes, you just don't see it on like a given LNN. But I was curious, because, like, Alan doesn't, but, like, he's a Sakuya player. He's a Sakuya scrub. So, and it's not, like, it's not, like, applicable at all there. Hello, Fuma Fuma. But I know you're one of the Reimu players. And it's something that, like, I looked at doing, like, only, like, a handful of weeks ago. Like, relatively recently. Die. Thank you. Sometimes you just gotta trust your damage. Oh no, the fucking lag spot! Okay, I'll blame that one completely on the lag. I haven't had the lag be like a problem like at all. Okay, that was just the movement getting reversed. Like easier ways. I know! The Saki is scrub. Turns if you have grind. You don't need to plus the slug emote. Also, Fumofo, you don't have to post the Moko smoking. We have a... There is a Sanyo smoking emo. I actually don't know what the name of the emo off the top of my head, though. Well, there's that Sanyo emo, but like there's the Sanyo Fumo smoking. There it is. $13.61. Damn, I'm getting all the other kills. Something is so epic and underrated is actually crazy. What, and how much of it redacted, skank, redacted she is? Like, she's not necessarily there, but she's rivaling my hatred for Suika and, Notori right now. This game is greatly underrated. Game is wanked on so much. I'd wank on the SDM. Oomph. He's a Pachinko though. Well, yeah, the only full-time Sanyo here that used to suck when that was the case. We need that used to suck. I'll say, as much as I complain about her, and as much as, like, we may suck at her, I don't think it's crazy to suck at her. I think she's fucking brutal. I think this stage 3 is like... I think it is perfect. I think it is as upsetting as it may be at times. I think it is perfectly rational to suck at her. I like it. Consistent. To be fair to that line, what do you think it feels like to be a normal player? who, like, dies 5 billion... Oh my gosh, goodness, cat. Who dies 5 billion times the Clown Piece final, and then someone comes in and is like, oh, it's easy, just learn it, just learn it out, it's easy. It's super easy and consistent. Boogers. Or bogers. I mean, Sanyo's final is pretty fine. I can't really complain much about her final. I think if someone wants to call that good and consistent, that's fair. And, like, there are some parts where it's like, I can understand having better strats, and, like, also there's an aspect, like, some people just, like, see things differently, different, like, types of patterns, they dodge better than others, they're better at reading it than others. But, like, how the fuck do you look at non-2, especially a low movement non-2, and be like, oh yeah, that's good and consistent? I'll go like slightly longer, but it's almost like 2 hours. So with TCG when? Do we need another Touhou gacha? I downloaded it like once a month after it came out. I played for like 30 minutes, maybe, if that, and then I stopped. And I never went back. Like, if I'm going to play about anything Touhou related, it's probably going to be Lost Word. Or Hydro Camouflage. I was able to resist, thank goodness. Even enough for you to play it. I have been gacha dry for, hate gacha dry, for a little over 2 years. Or, what I should say about pay gacha is playing games that have full systems where there's like a paid element. I've played Xenoblade 2 a bit in the last couple years, which technically has a gacha system, but there's no like payment involved in it. There's no like competitive nature. It's a completely like offline game. It's like when you pull blades, it's like it pulls similarly to a gacha system. Games doesn't seem well. I'll throw a little bit of shade, but it is Blue Archive, so it's not as much shade as it could be for some gachas. Ever been technically the rolling thing? Yeah, there's the card pack system, which is pseudo gacha. Partially because like when you open the packs, like you only like there's like a limited amount in each pack. So like even if you don't get the first time, you'll get it the second or third time, and then once you've pulled everything from the pack, then it re-loops. So it loops really quickly. Do I miss a gacha game? True. But this is what I mean by like a pay gacha, which is something like, you know, Lost Word, Uma Musume, Blue Archive, you know, those. scoring, no shot manip, yeah. Okay, next death and I move on. We take my run, which is quite good. move on. I got an itch in my forehead. To you easily. Let me know how it goes for you.
Is anything at the end of the day with RNG. Isn't anything with RNG just effectively a gotcha? But I also just generally don't play, like, much that has any, like, online, like, versus or rankings, like, associated with them. Like, basically, like, anything I do is, in my own time, is not a multiplayer game. It's, like, basically always a single-player game. If I hang out with my friends, even half the time, then it's, like, a single-player game. Or it's, just some, like, co-op party game or some shit. Oops! Why? That was weird. I don't know if I've ever killed her at that timetable. Fortunately, that was late enough that doesn't really matter. Like, this gotcha game's so true. And she got this. What she deal with? I didn't get the life piece. No, the run's over. Kind of. Like, I have my complaints with, like, on, like versus systems and ranking games, broadly speaking. But, like, the other, like I've had my complaints with gotchas, and I used to be hard into a number of gotchas, but, like, and I've had my, like, you know, questions about pulling out of the gotchas, but, like, it's just, it's such a predatory business, business practice, I would say. Like, that's the thing that really pulls me out of gotchas, is I just look at, like, a gotcha, like, I look at the gotcha, like, marketing brand, and then someone comes out and is like, oh, well, I play, like, free-to-play or anything, so it's fine, you know, I don't actually, like, go into the pay thing. But it's just, like 90% of gotchas I've played, I've done completely free-to-play, but, like, even for that, it's just, like, it's, the whole way they, like, the game is set up is so predatory. Like, oh, what do you mean? You're playing a game where it's like, okay, oh, hold on, you played your half an hour of, like, gameplay for the day. Oh, hold on, you're gonna have to wait another 8 hours before you can do more gameplay, unless you want to use these items to do more gameplay. Like, it's not even just the pulling. Yeah, fear of missing out's a big part with gotchas. But, like, it's not even just, like, the gotcha pulling mechanics. It's also just, like, the raw, like, the gameplay tends to be fairly, like, bare bones for things. Things are. Companies, and the two other things is, like, the one I just said, is, like, when you're limiting gameplay behind, like, paywalls or timetables, it's like, you can have the game, but, like, you know, it's kind of, like, restricted to a lot of degrees because of it. And where was the other thing I was going with it? I'm trying to remember. But, like, the other thing is it incentivizes, like, not actually, like, finishing a game. And it incentivizes, this is the other thing. It really incentivizes, unfinished products. And that's the thing that, like, perturbs me. And this like, does bleed into the realm of, like, and, like, I will play, like, a lot of, like, turn-based RPGs and stuff that have mechanics like this, where, you know, the game fucking comes out. Before the game comes out, they're already announcing, like, future DLC for the game. It's like, fuck. It's like, just, like, and, like, that's rough, but, like, the gotchas in this regard are so much worse in this regard. It's just, like, it incentivizes unfinished gameplay. You don't play PvP for every minute, it's really competitive. You have to swim multiple times in space for like 3 months, yeah. Then do better card when it comes out, yeah. And there's some things like in Upa. If you're playing like really just like chill on your own time, you're borderline free to play, not really care about the any of the versus aspects. You're just there for the girls and for the inner. Ah, I hurt my finger. Ow. For that aspect, that's one thing that's mostly fine. I still have I personally try to not do that. I just don't like gacha structures, especially since we live in a world where there's 5 billion things to play. I can find something that's not a gacha and entertain me. But even then, I understand people who play that type of way, and it's not something I'm gonna go out and be you're a bad person because you do that. I might as a joke. Potato Bot, you're a bad person. How does that make you feel, Potato Bot? You're bad. You're just so disgusting. Now, people who wail out, I might have, wail out the games, I might have a bit of a... People who wail out and or kind of, defend these type of practices, that's a little bit more on, the... Fuck, my thumb hurts. Fuck. I'm 1000% gonna die because I'm gonna be bitching about my thumb. That's free to plays. Okay. Take what we got, which was really good. Move on. I'm just getting to my joke. Yeah, I understand.